Fine, I didn't know which of these.
It was a
Or the
special.
same thing, it's just different. Yeah, I see that, because that wasn't here. It's moving the fast. Impossible.
Now call this Village of Hebron Council meeting to order at 6 p.m. on Wednesday, September 24th, 2025. Please stand as you are able and join me in reciting the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, please.
Mr. Wool,
Here.
Mr. Carpenter, Mr. Nauer.
Here.
Mrs. Chapman.
Yes.
Mrs. Porter.
Yes.
Thank you, council. We have quorum. Thank you, visitors, for attending this evening. If you've not already done so, please be sure to sign in and get a copy of the agenda. There will be opportunities to speak at 2 points in the agenda labeled visitor comments. Council meetings are recorded and provided to council and the public for review. Meeting minutes are official once the recording is approved by the village council by a majority vote. Today's recording will become the official record of minutes once approved. The recording is available online at the Village of Hebron YouTube channel. I'm seeking a motion for approval of minutes for the September 10th, 2025 council meeting.
So be it. Second.
I have a motion, or I'm sorry, I have a motion from Councilmember Nauer and a second from Council President Wolf. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Mrs. Chapman. Yes. Mrs. Porter,
Yes.
Mr. Nauer,
Yes.
Mr. Wool.
Yes.
Thank you, council. I'm seeking a motion of approval of minutes for September 17th, 2025 for the special council meeting.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion from Councilmember Chapman and a second from Councilmember Nauer. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Mr. Wool,
Yes.
Mr. Nauer,
Yes.
Mrs. Chapman. Yes. Mrs. Porter.
Abstain.
It's not a majority at that point, right?
That's correct. As we discussed before, you have the option of voting affirmative if you're relying on the documents as presented. You're not obligated to.
Still abstaining.
Right.
Okay. In that case, I assume that's the same then for the next one. And so my question is, we would just defer these till the next council meeting?
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you, council. The next item is oath of office. And tonight we are taking part in one of the oldest and most important traditions of public service, the taking of an oath of office. An oath is more than a formality. It's a solemn pledge of fidelity to our Constitution, our laws, and most importantly, to the people we serve. By taking this oath in public, we affirm both the weight of the responsibility that comes with the office and the trust that the community is placing in the leaders and the staff. This moment is solemn because it binds us to integrity, accountability, and the rule of law. But it is also a celebration, because each new oath represents a renewal of our shared commitment to good government and to the well-being of our community. It is a reminder that public service is not about individual gain, but about working faithfully for the common good. With that spirit, I now invite Joe Giovanelli up to take the oath of office with me up here. All right, so just follow. I say your names.
I, Franklin Joseph Giovanelli,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support
that I will support
the Constitution of the United States of
the
America,
Constitution of the United States of America,
the Constitution of the State of Ohio,
the Constitution of the State of Ohio,
and the ordinances of the village of Hebron,
and the ordinances of the village of Hebron,
and that I will faithfully, honestly, and impartially
and that I will faithfully, honestly, and impartially
discharge the duties of my office as council member.
discharge the duties of my office as council member.
Congratulations. Thank you so much. Yes.
Very nice. Congratulations.
Do you want to do a photo with the family real quick? Absolutely. You do. However you want to do it. There we go. All right. Perfect. And if I could, I was gonna wait till the end, but while we're doing this, they got. Excellent. Yeah, it's the paparazzi these
There we
days.
go.
I'm gonna do both angles, so good. Great. She has to do it.
You're gonna do funny.
This is your spot.
Very much.
We're gonna put you to work right away. Thank you.
Oh.
Okay, we have this time reserved on the agenda to hear comments from visitors regarding topics not listed on the agenda. You should have signed in. Please be sure to state your name and address for the record. There's a 5-minute time limit for each speaker. We are very eager to hear what you have to say, so please speak loudly and clearly into the microphone. Any comments? Kathy, will you push on that button on the top just to make sure that we can hear you? Is it on? I got it. Thank you.
Yeah, okay. I'm Kathy McCoy. I live down on Hamilton Avenue and I'm a longtime village member. I just have one concern for the village, and it's the open burning law and ordinances. There's been many occasions this summer that people have had open burning their garbage, smoke billowing in my house. People aren't following the regulations, and I don't know what to do. I talk to the people about it, they don't care. It's what they want to do. And it's not for, I looked at the open burning regulations, there's all kinds of things, it's prohibited. If the open burning is offensive or objectionable because the smoke emissions or whenever the atmospheric conditions under local circumstances, which makes this hazardous. That's under 1511.05B, and under C, it says they need a permit is required if they want to do open burning. And I know we had a little brief conversation that right over here by the school, they cut all those trees down. They're just burning it up. And all the smoke is coming down the street. I just don't know what's done.
Thank you. Thank you. And Kathy, please stay up if you don't mind. I just, please, no, I mean. You are, have a seat. Come on, yeah, come on, yeah.
This is new to me.
So, well, we're very glad that you came. And I think there are a lot of residents who don't know that this is a problem. Especially the folks burning. I don't think they understand what they're doing to their neighbors. I will share with you that actually my entire executive leadership team has been discussing this for a few weeks. We worked with the West Licking Joint Fire District, and they actually shared with us the Ohio EPA rules. And so now my team is armed with that information, and we are finalizing exactly how we plan to address it in each situation, especially if it's a repeat issue where we have indicated that it's not appropriate to do, and then they choose to do it again. So we are planning on addressing this head on. We've been working with Chief Oliver on this specific topic as well, and also making sure that West Licking Fire knows that it's a priority for us, because we do not want residents to have to close their windows because they cannot enjoy fresh air coming through their home. So you were one of multiple residents who have shared their concerns with me, and I really do appreciate that. So hopefully you will feel at liberty to telephone the police department. You're welcome to call the administrative offices if we're open. We will absolutely respond. We will also make sure that if anything is being burned that is not seasoned firewood, that's not allowed. So they're not allowed to just burn branches and leaves, and certainly not trash. So all of that is on our radar. And in fact, we now know the acceptable sizes of these fire pits and all of that. So that's what my team has been researching to get a better understanding of what the boundaries are. I think we probably have a better understanding than we've had in a long time about what those rules are. So hopefully we'll have a very different experience, but if no one calls us, we won't know. So please do let us know as soon as anything happens. No, thank you. Thank you so much for coming in. It's so much better when someone brings in an issue that I was prepared for, so that was lovely. Yeah.
Check. It's that. Oh. No, it was blinking, it's on now. Just as they see.
Thank you. Any other visitor comments? That was kind of a success. You want to do anything else?
That's all I had for now.
Okay. Well, maybe you'll think of something better next time. All right, the next item is legislation. Ordinance 1525, it's an ordinance directing the mayor of the village of Hebron to deposit donations received as a result of conducting marriages into the general fund of the village of Hebron, Ohio. This is the third reading. I'm seeking a motion to adopt ordinance 1525.
So be it.
Second.
I have a motion from Councilmember Nauer. I'm gonna give the second to Councilmember Porter. Any discussion? Debbie, will we have to create a new account or anything for this, or it just goes? Okay,
Just goes in the general fund.
Perfect.
Miscellaneous.
thank you, CFO markets are. Okay,
Roll call.
Mr. Wolf,
Yes.
Mr. Giovanelli,
Yes.
Mr. Nauer.
Yes.
Mrs. Chapman.
Yes.
Mrs. Porter.
Yes.
thank you, council. It passes 5-0. Next item is ordinance 1625. It's an ordinance to amend the codified code section and chapter of 933, the codified code section of Title 9 titled Sewer Use and Industrial Pretreatment, second reading. There was a correction made. There was a typographical error in the previous version, and that's been adjusted. Any questions? Okay. The next item is ordinance 1725. It's an ordinance approving the plat of phase 1 of the Hebron Landing subdivision and authorizing execution thereof upon compliance with development requirements. This is the first reading. The next item is council member action items. And the first item on that is public records training requirement. Mrs. Morgan, can you speak to how this has come about to be top of mind for us?
Yes, thank you, Mayor. We're currently in the middle of our audit with the state auditor's office, and this subject has come up. They've asked for proof of public records training for council members, all elected officials. And the only thing that we had to provide them was, documentation that Chris was appointed, our clerk of council was appointed to be the council's designee. However, we had to go back to 2017 to get that. It has never really been kind of taken care of each term or each new year. However, I do believe the auditor's office is leaning more toward having council and elected officials actually take the training. At one point, it was a little cumbersome because you had to go in person, but now they do offer so many online options. So it really isn't difficult. So I believe we're leaning toward trying to get all elected officials to actually do the training themselves rather than having a designee. And then Mr. Ante also brought this up just a day or so ago.
That's good summation from Deb. Historically, you may recall council as elected persons had the right or ability to designate a designee to go through the training. And to Deb's point, I think we're leaning toward elected officials need to go through the training, which frankly is probably a good idea for all of us. But they are becoming more available online at your leisure. So be prepared for that. For any that are attending the Ohio Municipal League Conference next month, they are dedicating a few hours of public record training that will qualify for that. Okay.
And also I can share that when it is every other year, so when there's new council, there are often additional trainings more than usual. So if we get into the new year, and if you you will receive information from our team letting you know what those additional options are. But I think it's imperative that you strive to go as early as you can, because you will really need to have this going forward. And I think that it'll also help you feel more prepared for addressing concerns and comments with the general public going forward. I know I found it to be very valuable to be able to feel more comfortable sharing information.
And there are, the Ohio Attorney General's office and the Ohio Auditor of State. There's information in your packets about times that they're offering online, courses. Some at your leisure, some scheduled.
Would you recommend that folks do it before December, like before the end of this council, or?
Well, certainly if they have the time and the opportunity,
Okay.
absolutely.
For this
If not,
calendar year?
as soon in the new year as
Mhm.
possible.
Okay, and in the new year, it's each term, so if you are up for election, then you would need to take it in January or soon thereafter. So keep that in mind. If you're not up, then you probably should do it sooner rather than later, yeah. Okay. Any questions on that? And if they have questions, they can reach out to you to get additional information. Great, thank you so much. The next item is me seeking a motion to go into executive session pursuant to ORC 121-22 G1 to consider the employment and compensation of a public employee.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion from Council President Wolf and a second from Councilmember Chapman at 6:18. Roll call, please.
Mr. Wolf.
Yes.
Mr. Nauer.
Yes.
Mr. Gene Valley.
Yes.
Mrs. Chapman.
Yes.
Mrs. Porter.
Yes.
Thank you, Council. Taking a motion to come back in from executive session at 6:39.
So moved.
Second,
A motion from Council President Wolf, a second from Councilmember Chapman. Roll call, please.
Mrs. Porter,
Yes.
Mrs. Chapman,
Yes.
Ms. Canower.
Yes.
Ms. Giovanelli,
Yes.
Mr. Wolf.
Yes.
Thank you, council. I'm now seeking a motion to have
Direct the solicitor.
to direct the solicitor to, boy, I'm struggling. Draft legislation to create 2 new part-time positions, one for water, one for wastewater. And the pay on that would be the same as the full-time pay range that we have for those similar positions with the same certifications.
So moved.
second,
Thank you. I have a motion from Council President Wolf and a second from Council Member Chapman. Discussion? Roll call, please.
Mrs. Porter,
Yes.
Ms. Canower.
Yes.
Mr. Wolf,
Yes.
Ms. Giovanelli.
Yes.
Mrs. Chapman.
Yes.
Thank you. It passes 5-0. Next item is the administrator's report.
Thank you, Mayor. Couple of updates. We got a request from residents on Worcester. Because Worcester is part of a water line replacement project, so the contractor ground up this pavement. And right now there seems to be a sinkhole. So the public work is going to look at it next week. Try to address the issues. The other part is that the water line replacement is going slow. Because we have some surprises on the unmarked stormwater piping. So we need to figure out where that goes before this work can move forward. And also the contract is currently on pause for the culvert replacement project. Because the water line easement issue plus the temporary access easement issues. Once we work out those solutions, that project will move forward. As you may notice, and you have seen it quite often, the Hebron landing phase 1 is still going through the utility installations. The sanitary was all installed. Now they're working on a stormwater. Now we have some issue with Sunny Acre lift station. Apparently, there have been a lot of the plastic bag in the lift station. The wastewater crew had replaced a pump already. So what we are looking at is to have the a contractor come in to vacuum the whole lift station. Because every time there's a plastic bag comes into the lift station, it just gets sucked into the pump. And that creates the issue in terms of the pumping rate, but also damaging the pump as well. So we're going to get a contractor out there to just pump everything out of the lift station. Hopefully that will at least keep that lift station a little bit longer while we're going to get the Canyon Road lift station design, and then our Canal Road lift station design, and then get a permit to improve the Canal Road lift station. At the end of the day, we will decommission the Sunny Acre. The last thing is, I think it was about 2 months ago, I requested the mayor and I requested the council to submit the grant application to the Muskegon watershed conservation district. Yeah, we got funding to do the non-source pollution implementation strategy. So we'll be working with the Licking County Soil and Water Conservation District because they got funding as well. We try to work in collective ways. So we have a scaled economy to get the same contractor consultant to do both projects. Just want to give you an update. That project will be focusing on the Beaver Run watershed issue. That's all I have. Any questions from me?
And just to elaborate, the rate that we're paying for that work would have been higher if we did consolidate, do all this together with
Absolutely.
soil and water, and so we would have had a match, but because we're working as a team, we actually don't need to have a match, so that's refreshing.
And that is a totally funded by the Muskegon Conservation District. So there's no local funding.
Is there any way we can look into a pump discharge? If it's not discharging enough, that alarm will go off and guys can go check it.
Yeah, right now, every wastewater crew has this phone that has that alarm system built in. When the pumping rate is slow, they get the alarm. And when the amperage goes up, they get the alarm.
I know the one down by the firehouse there, it went bad here
Yes,
about a month ago.
that's correct.
I asked Tom about, what happened.
Yes.
He said, well, they had to order new parts.
Right.
Whatever.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, we definitely will work on that, making sure everybody has the equipment that can be notified when the issue arises. Yeah.
So were they notified when that happened?
I do not believe so.
Okay. Are we going to put something on?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
That's fine. That's it.
I have a couple of questions. On the highway just north of the railroad track, well, and even on the south side, that is really in pretty poor condition. And it's not gonna get any better without some major attention. So whether ODOT is going to be agreeable to repairing that, or maybe they've not been asked or shown. But it is bad.
Yes.
The other item that I have is directly north of that, on the right-hand side, north of where the senior citizen housing is being built. Those drains have been clogged with who knows what. It's just a bunch of junk that's been in the path. And I don't think it's been cleaned out, but if we get even more rain, that's gonna clog that hole. So there's at least 3 or 4, would you say, Kenny?
Yeah, they actually got covers over it, but it makes it look that technical worse than it
Well,
actually is, but it does
It
need.
may be, but I
It
would
is
say
clean.
that it needs to be cleaned up, or now with the major construction, I would think of that being done. It probably could and should be removed. Unless there's some kind of a grate that keeps out all the refuse from the highway.
Yeah.
I mean, it has to be plastic bottles, it's gotta be whatever people fling out. But I can't see where that is enhancing any drainage at all.
We'll address those, yes.
Yeah, cause it's there, I mean, there's no denying that.
Absolutely.
You know, a person with a shovel and a car can probably clean that up in a day, and should, because I think that's going to be a hazard.
Sure. Thank you. We'll address that.
Okay, thank you. The next item is council member reports. I'm going to start with council member Porter.
She's kind of out of reports at this moment. But I will say, since I've been walking so much,
Yeah.
there's lots of things to see that you don't see in an automobile as you whiz by, and it's amazing what's out there. The sidewalks are in a miserable situation. And in some areas, there's growth, there's organic material in between, and there's generally on North Street. That needs to be done. I've been trying to promote and haven't had any success. They've had a person out there with a sharp shovel and got all that growth out of there. You would instantly have sidewalks. So I think a person and a shovel and whatever else might be really cost saving and return of, it's not gonna be wonderful, but then the sidewalks aren't wonderful either, so I think that could use some attention.
Is that the homeowner's responsibility or our responsibility? And the sidewalks, keeping them clear?
That should be the homeowner's responsibility, yes.
What about, like, I know on Cumberland, for instance, there's sidewalks that was there years ago.
Second Street.
I mean, you can see when they put in Sam's Drive, they literally took the sidewalk out and the sidewalk goes down, stops where the two houses on Sands, then continues on and then. So I'm just curious about who's responsible for replacing what they tore out.
I'm gonna ask Director Meissner to talk about this a little bit.
Good evening. So there's a couple things I'd like to mention around this topic. So first, our zoning board is reviewing some amendments to our zoning code as we speak. Because when we look at our zoning code as it relates to the right of way and maintenance of the right of way. Yes, in theory, it should absolutely be the property owner. Working with our zoning attorney, there's definitely some adjustments that we need to make to our current zoning code to make that enforceable. So we're working through those changes now. Another thing to keep in mind is where we start and how we start. In the sense that there's been years and years and years of us not relying on or expecting or even communicating with our residents to take care of their sidewalks. So a lot of the sidewalks that we're seeing on North Street, for instance, it's been that way for, I think it wouldn't be dramatic to say decades in some situations. I know I listened to the committee meeting via YouTube, which has been a really great resource when I have to be at a volleyball game or somewhere for my kiddos. So thank you for making sure that that's available. And in that conversation, talking about the sidewalk maintenance program, I'm really looking forward to collaborating with Administrator Chen and Superintendent Ward on that, because it's a great start in the right direction, but it's not as simple as just saying, hey, residents, get this done. We're gonna have to figure out a good plan to make sure that we rectify years and years of mismaintenance and neglect, correct? And figure out what's a fair expectation moving forward. I think we're headed in that direction. Do I think we're there yet? No, I wish I had better information to share with you. I think this also goes back to a lot of the difficult conversations I've been having with residents when they're upset about having to install sidewalks that lead to nowhere. And I tried to explain to them that this infrastructure builds upon itself, right? And it helps us plan and build a community that's walkable, which is a very important thing for any community. But it also allows us to be able to start somewhere and have some maintenance requirements in there. So I know that was a very long-winded answer of saying, we're working on it, we're not there yet, but it is top of mind. And I think that there are some improvements that are very obvious. We just have to figure out where those start and how we work better with the homeowners to address them.
And there's a difference too between, new concrete or just pulling the weeds and cutting the.
Edging
There's-
sidewalk.
It'll just cut the growth off and look, there's a sidewalk. So-
And I was just sharing with the mayor the other day, even just when you're taking care of your lawn and you're leaving all of the grass on the sidewalk. That is not ideal either for walk errors or things like that.
No, and it goes into the system.
Correct. And so there's some education we need to continue to do even about simple issues like that. But sidewalks are a touchy subject. And so I think working and making sure we have a clear expectation and also just some education around why it's important for a community to have good sidewalk infrastructure is going to be important before we go too far with it.
It forces people who would normally use a sidewalk into the path of traffic. And
Absolutely.
that creates a safety issue.
Agreed. Agreed.
One of the problems you will have, I
Mhm.
guarantee it, is the town paid to have the sidewalk put in front of all the businesses.
Mhm.
They could do it for the town, why can't they do it for us? That's what you're gonna have.
Agreed. I'm hoping, picture perfect world, but you all know I'm an optimist, so we'll see once we get down this rabbit hole, how it goes. Is that we can figure out how do we at least get things up to par and then really rely on the residents from there. I don't know what that looks like. I don't even know if that's realistic, but we're definitely gonna have the
It's probably not
conversation.
realistic, but it would be nice.
and which areas are the priorities, right? Those are some,
Sidewalks, that's one of the first things that we've done
Mhm,
years ago.
absolutely. But thank you for bringing it up, and we'll keep you updated as we continue to have those conversations.
And that will originate in planning and zoning.
The amendment.
Yeah.
To the zoning code about right-of-way maintenance, yes.
Okay.
However, the sidewalk maintenance, policy that Mr. Chen and CJ are working on, I think that'll be more of a collaborative effort, just some insight from zoning on how we can make that work. I'm also hoping to share some information with them about the different zoning trainings that I've been attending, how I've been hearing other communities do that. Some might be a great fit for us, some might not be, but trying to consider all avenues.
Great.
And one more thing. On North Eighth Street, just north of, Main. There had been a very large walnut tree removed, and I was of the understanding that AEP was the one who wanted it down because of the wires going through the tree. Well, I wandered over to talk to some of the crew people, and that's what I found out, that it was AEP. Well, the problem is, some of the neighborhood has taken the smaller amounts, ones that are like this, who are, you can move that wood. There are remnants this big around out there. I don't think it may be in the easement, might be in the right of way, I don't know. But that's been there now for 6 weeks or more, and that needs to be finding a home someplace else from there. Because, snow is gonna cover that up, and who knows what's gonna slide into there. But it really needs to be removed.
Agreed. I actually witnessed that on my walks as well. You do learn a lot when you're not in a car and you're on your walks.
You do, yes.
A lot of
you
people probably
do.
wish I didn't take those walks, but my understanding is I think that there might have been some negotiating between the property owner and the people that were taking down the trees. Maybe someone wanted that wood, and then now there's been a lag of time in getting it taken care of, so.
Someone,
Uh-huh.
but it's very dense.
Agreed,
It's not-
agreed,
it's
and I
not gonna
think
be an
that
easy job.
police might have had them relocate it so that it wasn't blocking sidewalk.
Yeah, we rolled off the sidewalk.
Yeah. But it's probably time to circle back on that, so I'll follow up with the property.
Solution.
Yeah.
But it really has to go. 'cause-
Agreed. Agreed. I appreciate you bringing that to the surface again, and I'll make sure that I circle back with the property owner. Thank you.
Okay.
Anything else?
Well, maybe. Not a good time.
Okay,
I don't have anything today.
okay, thank you.
Nothing.
Okay, I tried to give you as much time as I could. So this is an opportunity, well, I'm just giving you a platform, so this is an opportunity for each council member to share a report of any old business, new business, or if you have anything to say, you do not have to say anything.
Oh, gosh.
It's like you just won an Emmy and now you're trying to think of what's. Just kidding.
Randy, do you wanna go before me?
No, by all means.
No, I think I'm very humbled and very excited to be here, and definitely look forward to the opportunity, of course, to serve in any way that I can. Being on council for the Village of Hebron, and really kind of focusing my effort on that. So definitely looking forward to that. As far as any business I have, I already did come in here, and Valerie was like, oh wow, with my own little thing. I even grabbed Anthony here before, or sorry, Chief Oliver, before coming in. I do have a situation with Lake Forest and the pathway that is, and forgive me if I have the right location, it is off of Buckeye Street and by 79, so that pond/pathway. A resident actually contacted me this morning. They've had continued issues with, I believe, a group of teenagers that are driving these very small motorized vehicles. And they seem to be deviating from the pathway and doing some donuts in both the land that is owned by the HOA and getting into even that property owner's own personal property. I know I'll be probably touching base with Brittany, Caitlin, and others along with Chief Oliver to see from a couple different angles, maybe how can this be addressed in terms of a maybe infrastructure. So John, maybe talking about bollards, whatever we can look at And then I think partnering with the HOA to see how and what ways do we want to go about that, just to kind of alleviate, I think, some of those residents' concerns. We do understand and appreciate the pathways being that connection for people to walk, enjoy, and easily get to different parts of Hebron. I think there's obviously that fun balance of figuring out how do we make sure it's not abused as a mini go-kart racetrack. Let's go with that. But no, I look forward to it, and I'm sure we'll figure out more. That's all I have.
Thank you.
I'm good.
All right.
It's easy.
All right, just a couple items on my end. The first item is logistics, the council meetings in November and December. The November council meeting is right up against, it's right up against. I'm sorry, I'm talking about the second meeting on the 26th. And as we know, our office is closed on the 27th, and so I was wondering if council would consider moving our Wednesday evening to Tuesday, the 25th.
Yes.
So I'm looking for a motion to move our November 26th meeting to November 25th.
So be it.
I'll second.
Thank you. I have a motion from Councilmember Nauer and a second from Councilmember Chapman. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Mr. Giovanelli,
Yes.
Mr. Wolf,
Yes.
Mr. Nauer,
Yes.
Mrs. Porter,
Yeah,
Mrs. Chapman.
Yes.
Thank you, council. It passes 5-0. And then the second question I have is, the way the calendar falls, we would be having our second December meeting on Christmas Eve, the 24th. I ask if council would consider making a motion or seeking a motion to move our council meeting from the 24th and replace our combined committees meeting, which is on the 17th.
So be it.
What was that again?
You're the 17th instead of the,
So instead of having a council meeting on the 10th, combined committees on the 17th and council on the 24th, we have a council meeting on the 10th and a council meeting on the 17th. I just want to make sure we have whatever we need for budget and all the other things at the end of the year.
Is it okay to combine the two?
No, we just won't have a council meeting.
Cancel the combined meeting.
Right,
Oh, okay, okay.
so it's in lieu of.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion from Councilmember Chapman and a second from Council President Wolf. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Mr. Nauer,
yes.
Mrs. Porter,
yes.
Mr. Wolf,
Yes.
Mr. Giovanelli,
Yes.
Mrs. Chapman.
Yes.
Thank you, council. It passes 5-0. The next item is the question that was posed regarding what if President Trump were to bring in the National Guard into Columbus and what preparations we're doing for, if that pushes folks out from Columbus into Hebron and such. So I had a great conversation with Chief Oliver. We talked about the importance and how lucky we are to have great mutual aid in the area. We also have at the county, we have SWAT and all sorts of other types of items that would specifically be trained for those types of issues. And so our expectation is that, as in the past, anything that were to arise like that, we would look to those other neighboring jurisdictions to help support our efforts. The next item is, I just want to pass around a flyer. It is about tomorrow afternoon or late afternoon. There's the opportunity to see a documentary about the importance of participation in the American experiment. And so it focuses on the importance of folks being involved in different clubs and serving in different ways. I am going to this. If anybody would like to join me, I'd be delighted to drive you. So just let me know.
That's tomorrow.
It is tomorrow. It's at the Newark branch, and I believe it starts at 4:30. And then the next item is, just want to remind folks, we are just right on the precipice of, wrapping up the addressing, residential concerns about liquid waste. And so I anticipate that our team will have, great communication prepared to help residents understand what their abilities are to no longer receive recycling curbside if they do not want it. And we will have additional information about the change in rates. And we will be communicating both hard copy letter to addresses and also doing a series of promotions on social media, including a video. So depending on how folks want to hear it, we've given them lots of options. But that will certainly be coming in the next few business days. So if you have any questions, please let us know. If you've heard from residents that you didn't share with us, maybe somebody said something to you on the side, please make sure that we know about that person. That way we're following up with them. I don't want anybody to miss out on changing their service if they want to.
It was really strange because we did get our statement and somebody said it was like $77, but it showed 4 months instead of 3. So.
It was a comedy of errors, let's say that. So we're working through all of that.
Cheaper than what we thought, it was 77 for 4 months, because it said 4 units, so they're straightening out the 3 months and getting all that straightened out.
I had,
There's more.
Oh, there's
they
more?
were
Okay.
concerned about the cost, and I said,
Yeah.
if there's any adjustment, I'm sure they're gonna give you credit for whatever it
Yeah.
is.
Yeah, it was really strange, I'm like, oh, that's cheaper. Yeah, so it was kind of crazy. Crazy.
I appreciate every resident that you talk to allay their fears that we were addressing it, and we will have information to you as soon as we possibly can.
Yeah.
But again, please encourage residents to reach out to us, because we will have to have a master list of who's changing their service.
But have you seen what they do take? It's an amazing amount of stuff that if you had to hire
Yes.
to take some of that refuse away, you'd be paying more than what they.
Oh, yeah.
That is, I'm not endorsing a higher rate, but if you think about all that stuff that they take that I don't think all businesses would. It's from televisions that you just hear them smashing along, and mattresses. It's a never ending parade of junk that they take. That's all.
Well, and I'll also mention another misunderstanding was that they charge if you do not use auto pay. And in fact, a resident produced for me a flyer she had received telling her that very thing. It was $4.25 per bill, but it turns out that they sent that flyer and then changed their mind and they never enforced it. But we had residents that thought that that was part of what's happening. So there's just a lot of disinformation that we've got to address and also show folks what they need to do so they can engage at whatever level they want to. And then we'll get it hopefully all tightened and buttoned down by November is our goal. But I appreciate everyone's efforts in helping us through that process. And I especially appreciate the residents giving us feedback, because if we don't know it, we definitely can't fix it. That's all for me. So this is the second opportunity if our visitor has thought of anything else.
I'm Kathy McCoy again, just back to what we were talking about, the sidewalks. The winter time when it's snowy, nobody shovels the sidewalks. Because, we walk, of course, we don't have sidewalk on Hamilton, we walk up. We're out on the opposite side of the street walking toward traffic until we get down to Evans.
Right.
And then thankfully, somebody plows Evans for us. Might not be the day it snows, but within a couple of days, we can still walk at Evans. But when you're doing the coding thing, that needs to be addressed too. That when I grew up and we lived on a street and you had a sidewalk, that was your responsibility.
Yes.
To keep it clear, regardless of the weather. That's all I have.
There is something at one time, if it's still on there, I don't know. If You say you own a sidewalk down North Street, you go out, you shovel that sidewalk off. If there's a glare of ice on it, you didn't put no salt, somebody falls, it's your fault.
Yeah.
But if you don't touch it, the snow's this deep, you walk through it, they fall. It's not your
I'll
problem.
go along with you, cause I run,
Yeah,
and I run in the winter time, and I'd rather have snow on there than to have it cleaned up, cause
yeah.
it's more slippery.
There's a wall on it, I
There
guarantee.
is.
I think that has been addressed more recently with some case law, and I'll look into that and get you an answer.
I was about to ask, I was gonna say, in our neighborhood, it's. It's great when people do plow, obviously it helps those that do walk for it to be safe. However, I think I had someone that once told me that recently the law changed. That it's not required and there's not some sort of assumption of legal responsibility or risk, it's almost an assumption on who's. Walking on that sidewalk with it being covered in snow, you assume the risk of slipping and falling. I don't know though, if that's changed.
We would get a definitive answer.
That'd be
With
awesome.
citations.
That'd be awesome. I just plow mine to be safe for everybody, but and my neighbor does, and I'm like, well, we're gonna clearly see where, you know.
What about kids who walk on it to get to the bus?
Yeah,
Yeah, so I mean, examples can go on, but I know kids, I see kids walking. And I'm going to assume that sooner or later it's gonna snow and it will, impact kids.
Well, you know, if it's just an inch or two of snow, it's not a big deal, but when it's either snowing and drifting and it's like up to your knees, then we can't walk. Of course, we probably
You're
shouldn't be
right.
out at our age. We go out rain or shine, so we sit out there with our umbrellas.
Many reasons why I simply can't walk. But I understand how that goes.
Well, if anybody wants to buy the Hebron Gymnasium and donate it to us, I would be happy to have an indoor rec center. Okay. So now on to review of expenses. Unless otherwise noted, it's understood that council members have reviewed the expense report provided and have no questions. Obviously, our new council member did not receive those because he just became a council member, but otherwise, I assume everyone else did have a chance to look at that. Also, I'll draw your attention to the meeting and event schedule. We do have a couple more food trucks. So you might want to note those just to participate as we're nearing the end of.
Talking truck,
No show.
it's all ready for them.
Me too, it's my favorite. I was very upset.
Yeah.
And also we have our last farmer's market coming up. And we also have Chipper Day coming up on the 21st. We have cleanup day on the 25th, and then we're doing Beggars Night on the 30th, followed by the Halloween Bash. I really hope everyone plans to attend that. Because almost no one came last year.
Yeah, right.
It was crazy how many people were there. It was unbelievable. Okay. Unless
I
there's,
have one thing.
I knew it.
On North Street, there is a building, an outbuilding that has been filled, and it's all lava George, and it's like this. And it's been that way now for going on a month. Is that going to, be part of the landscape forever and ever?
It's a new design.
You've been bringing up all the fun topics tonight. So the reason why that is the way it is because they have been notified that they are required to demo that building because of the state of it. That is their attempt at demoing, and then now we're at a standstill. So I am working on connecting with that resident to let them know that we've exceeded the amount of time that it can remain that way. I'm hoping that I can make some leeway with that versus getting our zoning attorney involved. But they're the ones that I did have to get to the point where they initiated a letter to them, letting them know that we have to see progress on that demo. That was the progress we saw, and now we're at a standstill again, so we're working on it. But
I'm glad to hear that,
Yes.
because I know how those things happen, or don't happen, depending on how you look at it.
agreed, agreed,
But
it
I-
is definitely on our radar.
I really didn't know that building was in that kind of perilous shape. And then all of a sudden it was I mean, it was down.
Definitely looks worse how it is now than it even did before,
did.
but regardless, it needs to go away.
Last year, they put bedding down this for neighborhood gas. And
Yes, it did.
it didn't collapse then, oh no, you know. But, nevertheless, it does not look good.
You all can be reassured that I've clearly never bored. So but we will continue to work on that.
Got it, thank you.
Thank you. At this time, I'm seeking a motion to adjourn.
Oh, yeah.
Motion from Council President Wolf, and I'll take yours as the second, if that's okay, Councilmember Porter. Thank you. Roll call, please. Mr. Wolf.
Yes.
Mr. David.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Porter.
Yes.
Thank you. This meeting is now adjourned at 7:15.